I became the antagonist in my stepsister's drama after refusing to cut my brothers out of my life, as she had demanded on her birthday. Out of my 4 siblings, Willow 18, am the youngest. Finn, 25, Kyle, 27, and Owen, 28, are my 3 older brothers. My father, 53, and my brothers have been quite protective of me ever since our mother died when I was 8 years old. Among other things, I had MOVYE nights with my brothers and father-daughter date nights. I believe they did that to ensure I didn't feel alone. My father married Bianca, 45, last year. She moved in with us along with her 18-year-old daughter, Lacey. I always felt that I was disliked by Lacey. She would converse with my brothers and father, but never with me. She would give me a brusque response and then turn away if I attempted to speak with her. After a few weeks of unsuccessfully attempting to get along with her, I gave up, even though I never understood why or whether I had done something. It was sufficient that we treated each other with CIVY lighty. My brothers had conflicting feelings about her as well. She insisted on attending our MOVYE nights, but even if none of us were interested, she would always insist on seeing a film she enjoyed. Additionally, she persisted in attempting to cuddle with my brothers, which made them uneasy and strange, as they didn't know her well. Because he didn't enjoy how touchy she was with him, Finn actually told her to stop. I recently turned 18. It was low-key and enjoyable, and I got some amazing presents. Lacey approached me the following day and complained that it was unjust because my brother's birthday presents to me were superior to those they gave her in June of last. Since my brothers didn't really know her, they each gave her a $200 gift card to a different store so she could purchase the things she loved. To be polite, they handed her presents. My brothers sent me a personalized planner with quotes and messages on every page, a signed copy of a whole book series I've been infatuated with, and a personalized perfume. Since they don't truly know her, I think it's reasonable that they give my gifts more thought. Lacey broke down in tears as she said, I always get everything and she gets nothing. Then she insisted that I quit spending time with my brothers, saying that they would give her more attention if I did. She also asked me to inform them that since she was now their sister, they should treat her the same way they treated me. I assured her that I wouldn't make my brothers do anything. She demanded that I call my brothers at that very moment to inform them that I would be spending less time with them and that they were to get her better presents. I declined. She must have told her friends and cousins, since I've been receiving letters from them accusing me of being a pampered, self-centered child. I'm questioning myself now. Recent update. Your recommendations and counsel are much valued. In case you missed it, I alerted my father and brothers about Lacey's actions. I did mention this in the comments. According to my father, they would speak with Lacey after he spoke with Bianca. We all spoke the following day. Lacey didn't deny anything. Despite what we believed at this point, she sounded like a broken record as she simply reiterated everything she had told me. Because my boys and I were so close, my dad acknowledged that she might feel alienated, but he said it was inappropriate for her to harass me through her friends and family and demand that I spend less. Bianca began to express regret for Lacey's actions. Lacey was simply struggling with the changes in her life, so she stated she hoped we could all forgive her, even though she knew it was wrong. They did initially want a positive relationship with her, Owen said, but she could forget it if this was how she was going to treat me. My brother also talked about how her being so touchy with them made them feel uneasy. When my father proposed therapy, Lacey screamed and refused. I believe my father had had enough at this. He threatened to VYCT her from his home unless she resolved her problems and went to therapy. We all stopped talking after that. My dad responded in the affirmative when Bianca inquired if he was serious. He claimed to love her and care about Lacey, but he wouldn't tolerate bullying of his daughter. And Lacey had a surprised expression. This must have been quite upsetting to her because she was going to attend a nearby college and stay at home to save money on rent. She began accusing me, approaching me, and even attempting to seize me. My brothers all stepped in between us right away. Kyle told her, ironically, that even if her father was attempting to be nice, he would not act in that way. He went on to say that he would put her in jail before she could blink if she touched me. As an attorney, Kyle made it apparent that this was no mere threat. Lacey took a step back and shut the door behind her as she made her way to her room. Lacey attended therapy the following day. At least she is VYing, even though I'm not sure if Bianca coerced her or if she didn't want to be expelled. I don't mind at all that she has been ignoring us for the past few days. Lacey began playing the sympathy card by texting my brothers the day she began therapy. They all obstructed her. I'm doing fine personally. Everyone kind of forgot that I'm Leah VYing for college in a few days because of this whole situation. My father and brothers are currently Biha VYing irrationally and like mother hens. LOL. Update 2. To put things in perspective, I'm the youngest of 4 siblings, Willow, 18. Finn, 25, Kyle, 27, and Owen, 28 are my 3 brothers. When I was 8 years old, our mother died. My dad, 53, married Bianca, 45, last year, and she moved in with her daughter, Lacey, 18, from a pre-VYS marriage. I wrote about Lacey hysterically making me quit spending time with my brothers because she wanted them to give her more attention, bar a month ago. She constantly accused me of keeping her from connecting with my brothers and blamed me for everything. We all took a seat and spoke. I went to college and Lacey went to treatment. However, I am aware that she still hates me. The present problem: I turned 18 a little more than a month ago. I received a pair of diamond earrings from my maternal grandparents as a family treasure. My mother used to own them, but she was unable to give them to me, so my grandma kept them until I became 18. In my room, I store them in a closed drawer. Bianca and Lacey attended a wedding yesterday. Melissa posted on Facebook, so I knew. Until I noticed Lacey wearing a pair of earrings that I recognized from one of her articles, I didn't give it much thought. I knew right away that those were my earrings, even though I know it's wrong to make accusations without EVY Denke. I notified my father and brothers over the phone before Leah VYing for home. Bianca didn't trust me when I contacted her to explain the problem because Lacey had informed her that she had borrowed the earrings from. Upon our re-VYing home, I discovered that the earrings were gone and the drawer had been broken. We looked at the hallway security camera. I had one place due to past incidents, and it captured Lacey entering my room and exiting a short while late. I was in a panic. Lacey received a call from my dad demanding that she return my earring. At first, she denied everything, but when he revealed that we had VY Deo footage, she defended herself by claiming that I wasn't using them and that she had simply borrowed them. My dad was then barred by her. Melissa was also not picking up her phone. I was considering going to the wedding right away when my brothers, who were really tired of Lacey, proposed that we go to the police station and report her for stealing. At first, I was hesitant, but then I recalled that Lacey had stolen these earrings without my consent, which my mother had left for me. We displayed the security film, filed a report, and went to the station. Lacey was brought to the police station this morning to be questioned. Melissa and she remain at the station. Lacey's family has been calling and texting me to accuse me of being dramatic and embarrassing their family, because a lot of the wedding guests witnessed the police officer. Update 3. I had no intention of updating after my initial post was locked, but I got a ton of messages requesting one and add VY Sing Me to update my profile here. If you're still reading this, please be prepared for a lengthy read because a lot happened. Let me start by answering the question that has been on everyone's mind. I did receive my earrings. Their current location is far safer. Second, my brother handled most of the legal technicalities, so I'm not fully aware of them, but these are the specifics. The price of the earrings is high. Lacey was in a lot of trouble because my grandparents apparently got them certified and had all the paperwork. Lacey was kicking and screaming the entire time, according to my father, who was at the station. She initially insisted that she had borrowed the earrings from a friend, but the police later showed her the VY Deo proof. Furthermore, she was unable to identify the acquaintance from whom she allegedly stole them. To exacerbate the situation, she was carrying the earrings in a custom engraved box. As my father related, Lacey reportedly attempted to flee while the authorities were speaking to her and even bit the officer who attempted to stop her. She was consequently forced to stay the night in the holding cell at the station until she made amends. Admittedly, I found this to be quite entertaining. Yes, it's wrong to make fun of other people's poor luck, but I'm just a human. My dad's wife, Bianca, expressed her deep disappointment in all of us. She acknowledged that Lacey's actions were in a gray area, but she claimed we could have waited for her to return and avoided making things more serious. She halted the call and stopped answering her phone that evening when my oldest brother asked her why she didn't want the situation to get out of hand. Despite her inability to respond, she insisted that we make considerations for family. Bianca went on to say that diamonds should be worn rather than kept in a drawer, that Lacey looked lovely in the earring. This makes me think that she was aware Lacey had stolen my earrings from the beginning and just allowed it to happen. Unfortunately, I can't demonstrate this. Melissa and my dad are divorcing. I hope this is resolved quickly, because I don't think she's VYing much, because they have a prenuptial agreement. Lacey, on the other hand, has been sending me nasty messages just her standard fare. Although I don't read the messages, I haven't blocked her, since we all think she would try to get in touch with us. We want to use this as proof for a restraining order against her. They have left the house as of right now. Bianca is still pleading with my dad to change his mind. Dad stated that his children must always come first and that he cannot allow a thief to live in his. He believes that Lacey poses a threat to my brothers. My brothers and I have blocked Bianca after she attempted to get in touch with him. I genuinely hope that this whole situation is in, because it has turned into quite a spectacle. I hope this is my final post on this site. I sincerely appreciate all of the people who have messaged and left comments inquiring about my well-being. Thank you so much for all of the best wishes and add VYC. I really appreciate it. Edit. I got several replies inquiring as to whether Lacey was unaware that the hallway was. It's possible that I never informed her outright. Hey, there's a security camera in here. But since they are VY-sible and not concealed, I fail to see how anyone could confuse them for anything else. Some also questioned why the security camera was installed in the. Our neighborhood was the scene of several crimes a few years ago. I was frequently by myself at home at this time from the moment I got home from school until my dad returned home from work. The house was equipped with security cameras since my father and brothers were too cautious. They were never removed. Many Reddit users messaged me after my first post warning me to exercise caution since Lacey might try to take anything. They were correct, though, so I made sure to confirm that the cameras were operational. Now to the next story 2. I blocked my aunt and cousin to stop their harassment after my partner, and I refused to give up our baby for adoption. I am 8 months along in my pregnancy, 24, and ever since I told my aunt and cousin, they have been causing me problems. We already love our girl, and neither my spouse nor I intend to part with her. However, my aunt wants me to give my cousin, who has been infertile for the pre-VYS 5 years, my child. To put that in perspective, my aunt has been a motherly role to my sister and me since our mother died when we were very little. Throughout our lives, we have maintained a close relationship with our aunt and cousin, and we have made an effort to help my cousin during her infertility. Being a Mormon who frequently goes to church and has a strict, narrow-minded perspective on morality, values, and leading a decent life, my aunt is also highly religious. According to her, a child should have a low VYing, caring mother, a father who pro-VY'd for, and a solid religious foundation. My spouse feels that my child will grow up in our home confused and misinformed because we both have full-time jobs and occupations and she is not a Christian. She claims that the child won't have the right care and identity because of our differing religious beliefs. She worries that in such a setting our child's welfare won't be given priority and that they might choose a bad, immoral route. She feels that my cousin, who works from home part-time, and her spouse are far more qualified to give my child a caring household that is infused with religion and morals. My cousin and aunt have moved to a new house where they are unaware of the address, and I have blocked them from most forms of communication to be sure they won't have any influence. My boyfriend and I also got married in a private ceremony. My aunt has been more hostile to me than the other one. She even yelled and argued when she arrived at my former flat one day in an attempt to teach me about the circumstance. She tried to get me to meet her at a cafe close to her church so we could talk about the baby in a phony nice voice. She persisted even after I told her that we had nothing to talk about and that I was keeping the baby. Eventually, I had to tell the apartment manager and hide in my flat. It took her around 30 minutes to leave. Additionally, my aunt has involved her religious acquaintances who occasionally leave me angry voicemails. And in contrast, my cousin has been more reserved around me, but she is dealing with trauma and despair following the preterm labor that resulted in the death of her baby daughter at 30 weeks of pregnancy. She has been participating in motherhood-related forums and commenting frequently on social media. Rumor has it, though, that she has been attempting to conceive through these groups and has been expelled from numerous of them as a result of her actions. She has been accused of pressuring widows and young moms for their children, which has devastated her. My cousin, who sees my baby girl as a replacement for her late child, is reportedly waiting for me to give birth because she is yearning for a child to fix her family. My aunt and cousin both seem to think that I will eventually give up my child because I will become overburdened with parental duty. They believe that I will allow my cousin to be adopted by her husband. My aunt maintains that I may have another child in the future and claims that since we are family, delivering my kid to my cousin shouldn't be as difficult. She thinks that since I'm still young and intend to go to graduate school after working for a time, this should be a simple decision. It seems like my cousin wants to get back in touch with me like we did before I became pregnant, but I'm not going to talk to her again until after I give birth. This is to assess her emotional state and avoid adding to my pregnant stress. Growing up, I liked her more than my aunt and had always been there for her during her infertility. However, her recent actions and thoughts have startled me and caused me to worry about my safety. Since we got married in secret this year, my partner and I are organizing a large wedding celebration for next. I'm not sure if my aunt or cousin would be able to make it or be in VY TED. Aside from people who are close to my aunt and cousin, I currently get a lot of support from both sides of my family. In a year, though, I'm not sure if that support will still be there or how my relationship with my aunt and cousin will change. I have missed a few family occasions that I knew they would be at, but I don't want to permanently miss out on pleasant times and family get-togethers. After my baby is born, I'm not sure how things will work out with my aunt and cousin and what problems might result from the circumstance. I was raised in a culture that VYEU'd starting a family and have VYing children as a reward for leading a holy, upright life. Even if you were truly have VYing difficulties, you were rarely given judgment-free assistance and were frequently harshly criticized for any perceived. Adoptions were a big part of my church's work, and I think they still are. The birth mothers were frequently young, unmarried, single, or in some other way VYEU'd as ungodly. If birth moms decided to raise their children, the church would intimidate and stress them regarding their future fate of their offspring. These infants were frequently given to Mormon couples who were unable to conceive or who wished to look altruistic by VYing an innocent child and pro-VYing the biological mother with an opportunity to fix her life and lead a fulfilling life. I am now extremely cautious of this practice since it terrifies me. First adoption update. My aunt and cousin, who are also active members, and I spoke with the local church head about the matter. After a lengthy conversation, he first disregarded my worries as family disputes and recommended that I seek counseling. We told him about my cousin's false dreams of adopting my baby whom she feels would grow up in a decent household, and how she is still struggling with the trauma of the death of her baby. We also informed him of the serious disruption and stress my aunt has been inflicting by feeding into these hopes and nagging me on her behalf. The pastor of the church expressed empathy for me and admitted that he knew what my cousin was going through because she couldn't conceive. He promised to get in touch with my aunt and cousin to find out their version of events. I had another conversation with him today. He was worried that I had stopped talking to my aunt and cousin, especially since I moved away and claimed they would like to talk to me. I questioned him about what they had said and told him that their actions with regard to my baby had influenced my choice to break off communication. He said that because of her health, my cousin's IVF treatments are unlikely to be successful. Therefore, she had talked to a church therapist and was considering adoption as a way to have a family. Despite what my cousin had been thinking, I made it clear to him that I was not VYing up. After stating that he understood, he started to inquire about my personal situation. He then recommended that we seek therapy VYCES and made another attempt to arrange a meeting between us and my aunt and cousin. I informed him that just now I didn't feel comfortable with it. He suggested that I at least give my cousin a call once, and if I was too afraid to do it myself, he would meet with my aunt on Sunday. That was the end of our call. In the upcoming days, I'll update this site with his comments. Since I don't want to make a completely new post for it, I will also change this one to make updates easier to discover. Edit, I don't like his response, and I don't like the pressure he's VYing me to get back in touch with my aunt and cousin. Even though he claims to understand my worries, I think he is being condescending and attempting to pressure us to settle our differences too soon. Since he has religious authority and influence over my aunt and cousin, my boyfriend and I first decided it would be worthwhile to try to get in touch with him. When we speak on the phone again, I'll listen to his response and figure out how to get him to give my concerns more weight. To be clear, I didn't give him any personal information, and I don't have any intentions to see my aunt and cousin. We do not reside in Utah, and we have already gotten in touch with legal assistance. Update 2. I made the decision to message and unblock my cousin. I informed her that there would be no discussion about my partner and I keeping our child. I made it plain that I don't feel comfortable with her her husband, or my aunt being a part of my child's life, and urged her to get good therapy if she hasn't already. She still hasn't replied. No matter what she says, she will no longer be involved in my child's life, and our connection will not be the same as it was. Third update. The birth of my kid and other endeavors while I heal and take care of her have kept me quite busy over the past 3 months. I hadn't had a chance to update until now. Despite logging on to Reddit a few times, my baby is almost 4 months old and I am currently 25. Time goes by so quickly. She's doing great and makes us very happy. She is maturing so quickly and I enjoy taking walks with her. I have begun my job search and intend to return to work shortly. I appreciate all of your best wishes and concerns. I hope the Thanksgiving holiday season is going well for everyone. Here is the long-awaited update regarding my cousin and aunt. My aunt and cousin have been quiet since my last update. My aunt contacted me in August using a different phone after my cousin failed to reply to my SMS. She inquired about my health and whether I had given birth yet. She expressed concern for my babies and my well-being during our brief conversation. Because I had cut off a lot of contact with my family, quit my work, my aunt told me that they had been attempting to adopt a child through their church ties, but had not yet been successful, most likely because they had only recently begun the process. When I inquired about my cousin, my aunt said that my cousin's husband's past would be an issue. When I questioned if they had spoken with a legitimate adoption agency, my aunt went on to talk about how the white birth rate is declining and how people are purposefully avoiding motherhood, something I was unaware of. Then she became upset, bringing up irrelevant subjects like ninth-month abortions, and asked if I still wanted the baby. She is a staunch pro-her. I told her again that I really wanted to keep my child. She went on to discuss how my cousin, who was in her early 30s, was growing older and how her nest was still empty. My aunt wanted me to at least share the joy by letting my cousin spend time with and be a part of my daughter's life. I informed her that because of their pre-VYS actions, this would not be feasible. I was afraid my cousin would attempt to play the part of mother and let her illusions to take over once more. I refused to accept my aunt's insistence that my cousin was attempting to better herself and had received church therapy. She went on to ask if I knew of any resources or people who might be interested in adopting a child. I informed her that I didn't and suggested that my cousin and her spouse exercise caution and patience while they prepare to become parents. Given that everyone around them is hitting motherhood milestones, my aunt stressed how crucial it was for my cousin and her husband to have children, not just because they deserve them, but also for their reputation. She pushed me on when I might have my next child and changed the topic to my future family plans after this surprise pregnancy. My aunt informed me that family planning was crucial and asked if she and my cousin might be involved the next time. I became weary of the talk as the call continued and her typical BHVY became more noticeable. Thank goodness she ended the call before me, because she had an event to attend. I like that my sister is there to inform me of any updates pertaining to my former church, as well as what's going on with my aunt, cousin, and other family issues. My sister said my aunt was telling the truth about my cousin. Although my cousin still has severe depressed episodes, her general mental health appears to have considerably improved from her worst moments. Her lack of children and her tense relationships with my sister and myself might make her feel extremely empty at times. Since many of their local alternatives have closed, my cousin and her husband are also looking into the possibilities of finding an IVF doctor overseas in the hopes of a miracle. My cousin seems to still think of my kid as something she lost, but she has been pleading for forgiveness of her sins and hopes that God will soon VY to her children. For OBVYS reasons, my family and I have opted to miss Thanksgiving in a few days. I intend to go back to work shortly, most likely following the holiday. I've already made daycare plans and taken all the required safety measures. All things considered, the future appears bright once more. I appreciate your support, everyone. If you have any questions concerning parenting, Mormonism, my family, etc., please contact me. An intriguing aside would be that my aunt has expressed her readiness for the grandma life and has taken a strong interest in my cousin's family starting endeavors. When we were younger, my aunt also said that because my sister and I lost our mother when we were very little, she would be like a grandmother to our future children. She must not be as excited about us as she once was. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.